Thanks for staying with us. Ethiopia has agreed to US-led mediation talks to resolve differences with Egypt over the construction of the Grand Dam. It had earlier rejected the US offer to arbitrate the meeting with neighboring Sudan and Egypt, insisting it would not be influenced by outside meddling on the building of the 6,000 megawatt dam. An Ethiopian government spokesman says foreign affairs ministers of Egypt, Ethiopia and Sudan will meet in Washington for the crunch talks, but a date is yet to be set. Last week, Ethiopia accused Egypt of trying to maintain a grip over the Nile waters using a colonial-era treaty. Several other rounds of talks held in Egypt and Sudan have failed to resolve the disputes in Egypt. Egypt, which relies on the Nile for 90% of its water, is worried that the dam will greatly affect its already scarce water supply. It had made proposals on the duration of filling and releasing the waters of the dam, but Ethiopia rejected them. Once completed, the $4 billion dam will be the biggest in the continent as Ethiopia positions itself to become Africa's largest energy exporter. A vocational training program in Ethiopia is offering refugee and host communities shared opportunities to learn, contribute to the country's economy, and become more independent. Considered one of the most progressive refugee policies anywhere in the world, the Refugee Proclamation gives refugees the right to obtain work permits, access primary education, legally register births and marriages, and access financial services such as banking.
Ethiopia's Nefes Silk Polytechnic College offers a first-of-its-kind training program where refugees learn skills in cooking, woodwork, mechanics and other subjects alongside Ethiopians. Hanan Saif Hassan, 32-year-old refugee from Yemen, was not sure what to expect at first. She worried about fitting in as a mature student and a refugee.
I felt shy about going back to school after all these years, but when I saw how others were working, I got excited and settled in.
Hanan also says spending time with her Ethiopian peers, especially her Ethiopian best friend, Yanchidio Gebeyehu, has also helped her forge a deeper understanding and appreciation of her new home. The initiative at Nefes Silk College is part of the Qualifications and Employment Perspectives for Refugees and Host Communities program, QEP, commissioned by the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development and implemented by GEERS, the German Development Agency. QEP supports employment prospects in Ethiopia for both refugees and Ethiopians alike.
We design, we prepare curriculums that help us to give the training for refugees and host communities. But we are delivering the courses or the classes on the same class like that of regular students.
Home to one of the largest refugee populations in Africa, Ethiopia passed a historic new refugee law in January 2019. For Hanan, Ethiopia has offered her opportunities that she would never have dreamt of back home. She says that her bond with Yanchinio grows stronger by the day. Education and access to safe, decent work are topics under discussion at the Global Refugee Forum, a high-level meeting to be held in Geneva later this year.
Now, modern art stands in contrast to historic Cairo in an exhibition held in the Egyptian capital. An Egyptian arts platform brings a touch of modernism to the heritage sites of old Cairo, blending past and present in an attempt to shed light on Egypt's historical setting through a contemporary lens.
An Egyptian initiative inspires Cairo's historical structures with modern art, playing the city's ancient Islamic heritage in contrast to its people's contemporary vision. The initiative, led by arts platform Art Day Egypt, is in its third year and has this year been held in 4 different heritage sites in historic Cairo. This exhibition featured contemporary artwork by 28 Egyptian artists and aims to support both local talent and the country's heritage.
It is a cultural message that our art has not died. Modern art can coexist in the same places of the beautiful Islamic buildings of the 14th and 15th centuries.
One prominent historian and artist, Huda Lutfi, held an exhibition at an ancient abandoned mental health hospital in Kalawan complex, through which she conceptualized the experience of its 13th century patients.
This is the ward for the disturbed in the big hospital of Kalawan. And when I came first to visit it, I liked the abandoned space and the energy that it evoked.
Another visual artist, Amir Yusuf, built and exhibited a kinetic sculpture meant to stimulate the viewer's sense of space and movement.
My main focus was to try to produce a piece or a kinetic sculpture based in the area, which can show in some way the landmarks of the setting or its architecture.
The exhibition was attended by an array of guests, including the French and Swiss ambassadors to Egypt, representatives of UNESCO, the UNDP and the IOM. According to the Minister of Antiquities, the exhibition aims to send a message that modern art can coexist.
Finally on the program, still in the spirit of Africa Day of Food and Nutrition Security, one Ghanaian food blogger is using her social media power to show her perfect recipe. Joyce, aka Mukase Chick, is one of Ghana's top food bloggers as she documents traditional Ghanaian recipes and teaches her followers how to make them so that the country's dishes can be enjoyed for generations to come. Take a look.
Makola Market in central Accra, one of the city's most popular and best-stocked shopping centers. It's also a favorite haunt for Joyce Gaby because it holds a treasure trove for ingredients for the traditional Ghanaian dishes that she is famous for cooking and promoting. After picking up some peppers and smoked mackerel, Gaby heads through Accra's busy streets to her home, and more importantly, her kitchen, where the magic happens.
Today we're making eto. So eto is a very traditional yam-based or plantain-based meal that is often celebratory food. So when people have their birthdays or they give birth, people use eto to celebrate them. I learned this recipe from my grandmother, and I'm so excited that over the years I've perfected the recipe.
The self-trained chef now has a popular blog, a strong following on social media, and restaurants that serves traditional Ghanaian food, all under the Mukase Chic brand. But she's had to make some tweaks along the way to keep her cooking and ultimately her business efficacious.
I do with most of the Ghanaian cuisine is to shorten the preparation time. And I think most people bear with me. It takes so long for someone to cook abenkwai or nkatinkwai because you have to cook it over and over again. It's almost like, which is great. I mean, our grandmothers use that to develop flavors.
Gaby studied theatre arts at the University of Ghana, but she says it was her parents' love for cooking and the happy times around the dinner table during her formative years that lured her into her current career in the food sector. Her goal is to share the joy that comes with the flavors and culinary stories she creates with as many people as possible.
Oh.
We hope you learned a few things from that report. Thank you so much for watching the program today. I'm Teniola Shoboale. Bye for now.